we've got to have a conversation now. Just a good old-fashioned sit down as a family and try to figure out who is the masked man. Who is this masked man? Because here's what happened, right? So last night, I'm watching NXT, and I see Ricky Saints turn heel. And I will tell you, a couple of people, somebody emailed into the Notsam Wrestling podcast and brought up Ricky Saints. Megan Morant had texted me bringing up Ricky Saints, that what if Ricky Saints is the masked man? And as soon as he turned heel, I went, you know what? It's just one of those things where I'm not saying it's happening. I'm just saying, like, it's just so in my universe. You know when things are just in your orbit and they just keep popping up from different places, and you go, well, clearly, if this keeps coming up in my orbit, there's something to it. I think Megan was the first person that texted me. And when she did, it's certainly not something that I scoffed at from the beginning. Because sometimes she'll be like, what if Jacob Fatu is the masked man? I go, Jacob Fatu doesn't even look like that guy. Not that it has to be the same guy. But she goes, Ricky Saints. I go, that's interesting. Emailer goes, Ricky Saints. I go, that's interesting. And then he turns heel on NXT. And he costs Javon Evans, I would argue, the NXT championship match against Obafemi. And I go, oh. I'm not saying it's definite, but there is something here. And interestingly enough, like just as the vision was taking off, I mean, months ago, I had said when that question was in the air, when it was Seth and Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, a lot of us were wondering if there were going to be more members to the vision, if it were going to be this thing, because that faction is so based on shaping the future of the industry. If all people who fall in line with the vision end up in this faction. And very early on, I had said Logan Paul should join the vision. I mean, like, almost from the jump. I was like, Logan Paul, it just makes perfect sense. He should be in the vision. And that's back when I was like, it could be a 4-person faction. Seth and the Bronsons and Logan Paul. I think they all bring something different. I think that they all, the one thing that threads them all together is this sort of future of the industry thing. Whereas Seth Rollins is claiming his throne, whether people like it or not. Whereas the Bronsons are sitting there taking it by force, and Logan Paul is taking it by force, but in another way. He's not taking it by physical force. He's taking it by, I know you all hate me, but I am so undeniable that there's nothing you can do about it. He's Thanos, right? It's inevitable. And you're sitting there going, I hate this Logan Paul. I hate this Logan Paul. And then it's like, oh, but he does have good moves. There's a stone in the Infinity Gauntlet. Ooh, once he turned heel, I am booing him. I'm not booing him to go away. I'm buying a ticket booing him. That's an Infinity Stone. Oh, he actually does cut pretty good promos. He's actually pretty good with promos and gets you compelled. That's another Infinity Stone. And eventually Logan Paul, who sits there. I actually am invested in this story. I want to see what happened. That's an Infinity Stone. I go to the matches now, and I want the good guy to beat him. That's an Infinity Stone. And all of a sudden, Logan Paul's looking at you, and you're going, Logan Paul, I would never consider Logan Paul a WWE wrestler. He's a YouTuber. He's not a WWE superstar. And then he just holds that Infinity Gauntlet. He holds that fist tight, and he goes, it's inevitable. And so that's when I say, like, Logan Paul as the future of the industry is forceful, and it's something that fans might or might not want, but fits in with the vision that way. So I was very happy when Logan Paul joined them and is now, like, full-fledged and, like, low-key is just sitting there, like, on TV every week now, this Logan Paul, which I love because as a villain. And then the other person that I was like, okay, this guy would be great in the vision, when somebody was like talking about NXT guys coming up. I think Ethan Page's name came up in conversations, you know what I mean? Like this that we're having. Ethan Page's name would come up, this person's name. And I kind of said from the beginning, Ricky Saints. You know, he just has that cockiness about him, that attitude, kind of similar to Logan Paul, kind of similar to Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. I mean, in a completely differently executed manner, but the spirit of it is the same, where he's going, I am here to take the industry. The industry is mine, and I'm going to shape it in my image. That's what Logan Paul says. That's what the Breakers say. That's what Seth Rollins says. That's what made the Vision the Vision. And so I had said then, like, Ricky Saints, if I was going to pick somebody in NXT, probably would be my guy. So then Seth Rollins goes away. Logan Paul's in the Vision. And now all of a sudden, I go, it wouldn't not make sense for it to be Ricky Saints. Now, I think that something you got to keep in mind is that I don't think it's Ricky Saints behind the mask right now. I don't think it was Ricky Saints that climbed up that cage at War Games. Like I said, the physical, it doesn't look like, that's not what Ricky Saints looks like. It's not how he moves. I don't think it was Ricky Saints that climbed up the cage. I don't think it was Ricky Saints on Monday Night Raw. But it's pro wrestling. The only person that it matters who's behind the mask is when the guy takes the mask off. You know what I mean? Like, you can't go crazy. You can't take too many liberties. But ultimately, the fact that this is a long play, meaning they're not like having this hooded dude come in, interfere in a match, and instantly take off the hood to reveal it's Jimmy Uso, Solo Sikoa, R-Truth. They're having this like play out over the course of time. That means that they can absolutely take it wherever they want to take it. And yes, some of us nerds would be sitting there going like, that wasn't that guy at War Games. But I mean, we're telling stories here. It's pro wrestling. And part of the benefit of having a completely anonymous masked man means that as long as you don't take it too far out of the realm of reality, you can kind of put who you think is appropriate under that mask later. Like I had said right after Survivor Series, it could be Jericho under that mask. Even if Jericho's not coming in until January, or, I don't know if Jericho's coming in at all. But if he is coming in, let's say he's coming in next year, you could wait until next year to do the reveal and then reveal Jericho. Is that him climbing up that cage at War Games? No. Was that him doing the stomp on the table? No. But once he takes the mask off, we're moving forward anyway. So I'm kind of in the who cares position as far as that's concerned. But I think Ricky Saints is on my list as a possibility. And by the way, the beauty of pro wrestling is they could still pick this later. They could have one idea with where they're going to go with the masked man now, and then later on go, you know what? This one over here is going to take us to a different spot. Maybe we'll go this way. Ricky Saints is absolutely on my list. I had LA Knight on my list, except then the masked man stomped him in the back of the head, which you could still, like in the Attitude Era, that wouldn't have made LA Knight out of the realm of possibility. Like in the Attitude Era, they would have like just gone, hey, I had a guy stomp me in the head, so you didn't know it was me. I don't think that they would pull that nonsense now. I think the internet would chew them up. Also, the masked man attacking LA Knight led to LA Knight getting tsunamied on top of a car. So I can't really see the logic in, I allowed myself to get tsunamied on top of a car to throw you off the trace. I think LA Knight is a pretty safe bet that it's not him. And also, based on everything that he's done since losing the tournament, based on everything that he did on Raw and the multi-segments that he was in, there's not even a hint that they're turning LA Knight heel. If anything, they're like pushing the babyface thing even more, which is not a bad thing. So, he's not on the list. Obviously, so you got Ricky Saints. There's always Jericho. That's the type of thing Jericho would do. He surprises people. Although his body doesn't quite look like the masked man, I think that would be one where people were like, I think, obviously, Austin Theory is on the list. That's the name that everybody's saying. But part of me goes like, okay. Like a lot of people think this is Austin Theory. That makes me feel like maybe it's not Austin Theory. I think it really depends on what the anticipation starts to feel like, right? Like if everybody knows that it's Austin Theory and it starts to get to a place where you go, oh, it's just going to be revealed and it's just going to be Austin Theory, and you pick up that vibe, then maybe you switch. But if everybody knows it's Austin Theory and the masked man starts doing cool stuff and the masked man like you actually get excited about the reveal, like there's a way that Austin Theory gets more over because of the anticipation of the mask reveal. So you could get to this place where it's like we all know who it is and we can't wait for the reveal. We can't wait to see why it's Austin Theory, what Austin Theory is going to do. And if that's the case, don't touch it. Don't do anything. But I think you can kind of make that call, right? If you want to, unless there's a specific plan in place that is leading you towards WrestleMania, and there's no reason to think that there isn't. But I've got Ricky Saints, Austin Theory, Jericho is my dark horse on it because we don't even know if Jericho's going to the WWE. 877-344-4893 is our phone number. 877-344-4893. I would imagine that the Masked Man is definitely joining the Vision as soon as he's unmasked because now it's not just been War Games. It's been, multiple times on Monday Night Raw against multiple people, and that's the other thing. Now it's pretty clear. The fact that he attacked Punk and Ray and LA Knight would lead you to believe that this is not a person that is outside of the Vision and has this other separate grudge. I mean, I guess Seth Rollins is on the list, right? It'd be silly not to include Seth Rollins on the list. I think that he's the kind of red herring of it all. I think that clearly this is designed to make people go, what if it's Seth Rollins? Then it's not Seth Rollins. I think this is somebody that Seth Rollins is going to have a rivalry with. But I guess you would have to put him on the list. You'd have to add him to the Austin Theory, Ricky Saints, Jericho, Rollins. And yeah, I mean, I think there's got to be more. 877-344-4893. I'm getting messages texted into me that saying it can't be anyone other than Theory. Well, it can be. That was from Bishop Dyer, as a matter of fact, who did a great job on I think it was, when was he on? What's today? Wednesday? I mean, I don't know what these days are anymore. Monday with the coach. I think it could be somebody besides Austin Theory. I think that's the most likely scenario right now. But I would say, who's to say? Let's go to Josh in Knoxville. I want to hear some other theories, for lack of a better word. I've got Austin Theory. I've got Seth Rollins. I've got Ricky Saints. I've got Jericho. I'm leaving Jericho on. What do you think, Josh?
Hey, what's up, man? My brother-in-law and I were talking last night, and what if, and not just physically their characteristics, because obviously they're using different people, but what if those different people represented actually different people?
Oh, like you started breaking up there, but you mean I wouldn't love that, to tell you the truth. Like you're saying like what if it is actually multiple people? Like what if they go full Doink the Clown on this? Like what if they go Grande Americano and there are multiple masked men? I don't like that right now. Look, I think there is this way of doing things where you could have the sort of introduction of multiple masked men, but if you're going to do that, you should do it in a match where, like, the masked man comes in to attack, right? And whoever the babyface is gets the advantage over that masked man. And then just as he's about to rip the mask off, another masked man pops up on the apron. And then maybe a third masked man pops up on the other apron, and you realize this is bigger. I think that, that's in my head where I would go with that, but I wouldn't do multiple. If I was going to do multiple, that's where I would go. But I would not do multiple masked men. I think that you want this story to kind of be centered, and you want the spotlight to be on this one human being. Let's go to Kelly in Edmonton. What's up, Kelly?
Hey, how's it going?
Great.
I was thinking, could it possibly be Trick Williams?
You know what? I mean, look, I got to start writing these down, okay? Let's go with Theory at number 1, because that's probably the most likely. We got Ricky at 2, Seth at 3, Jericho at 4, Trick Williams. I mean, look, they did such a good job at disguising this masked man. I mean, you can see his body type, right? But you can't, even the fact that they're doing the Batman face paint, where his eyes are painted dark under the mask, around his eyes, so you don't even see that. I think it's
because I noticed it was a taller person.
It was definitely a taller person. That's a good pickup. I think you can put Trick on the list. I think it would make sense that Trick would come in that way. I think that he would kind of fit in with the Vision. I think that it could present him
trying to get into the main roster. So
yeah, and it would make him more of a badass going in, like a little less showy, a little more of a badass who's beat some people down, somebody who's trying to almost like the Shield How the Shield came in and just went after big guys right away. And you know what could be interesting? Thank you, Callie. I kind of imagine if it was Trick Williams, right? And like the story was that the Vision actually didn't know. Like the Vision didn't set this up. Like even when Paul Heyman, because Paul Heyman on Raw is going, well, you'll have backup. And he told Logan Paul, for the first time, you have backup and all this. But there was enough plausible deniability in all that backup to say, no, I was talking about the Bronsons. I wasn't talking about the Masked Man. And he said the night after War Games, I don't know who that Masked Man is. Now, of course, Paul Heyman could be lying. That wouldn't be a crazy thing for that character to be doing. But the Trick thing is kind of fun because if it's revealed to be Trick Williams and even the Vision is surprised by it, then you could get to a place where it's like Trick was doing this on his own just to kind of muscle his way not only into the main roster, but to be at the top of the card. Like Trick was doing this almost as a way to impress the Vision. And then the story is not just the enemies that Trick Williams has made, but also, does the Vision accept Trick Williams? Is this gesture enough to get Trick Williams in the Vision? I think that could be cool. 877-344-4893. Let's go to Joe in Indiana. What's up, Joe?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man.
The guy right before me literally stole what I was going to say. I called in, especially the second guy, because he obviously was bigger. I think the first guy and the second guy were two separate people.
You think the guy at War Games and the guy on Raw this week were two different guys?
Yeah, I think body size, they were different, yeah.
Interesting.
But the guy on Raw, I definitely looked at and I think that's Trick Williams. So that's what I was calling in to say, but the guy right before me took it. So.
No, but I like that you contributed also that, like, you think it was two different people. I hadn't really thought that. I guess I haven't analyzed it all that much, but that would be interesting. You know what would be the best idea if they reformed Retribution? That would be the way to go. Remember how good Retribution was? Let's go. AJ just goes, yeah, no, I remember. Let's go to Kenny in Michigan. The number is 877-344-4893. What's up, Kenny? Kenny, you there, bud?
Yeah, how you doing?
Good.
I think it could be Montell Ford.
Oh, that's right, Montez. A lot of people have been bringing up Montez Ford. I think that, and he does. Thank you, buddy. He does fit in with that sort of Vision thing where a lot of people view Montez Ford as a future star. A lot of people have been talking about Montez Ford as like somebody that they want to see break out into singles. And I feel like that's a conversation that has been going on for years and has not happened. So the idea that Montez Ford would break out this way, it's definitely within character. And yeah, I think Montez Ford being unmasked. And look, if you wanna start matching up move gestures and everything, the thing is, if you want to really have this based in reality, there's not that many people that can get in and out of that War Games cage as fast as the guy in the mask did. Like, it was crazy. Like, that's what I watched back, and like especially getting out. Like, he just, like, leapt from the floor. His box jump has to be crazy. He just, like, leapt from the floor. It was, like, 2 steps up the cage and then leapt off. Like, I would be sitting there. I'd still be climbing that War Games cage. I'd be going, I'm shaking. It's like, bro, you're not even halfway up. Like, I was baffled by that. And there were, like, if I'm being honest, I had people on my list that I'm like, bro, there's no way that guy could get up that cage that fast. But, again, it's pro wrestling. We're telling stories. It doesn't have to be the guy that was wearing the mask. However, all that said, Montez Ford could get up a cage pretty fast. There's not that. I think the guy looked a little bulkier than Montez Ford, but Montez Ford can get in and out of a cage pretty fast. He's one of those athletic guys. So I will put Montez Ford on our list as we talk about some of these ideas. See, I like this so much better. I feel like last time I opened the phones to ideas, it was like a whole bunch of terrible ideas, but now it's pretty good ideas. See? I'm fair. I try to be fair.